guys, I'm outside walking at the minute. I'm delivering something to my dad who's playing with his band right now, and he forgot something for his saxophone. So I'm outside. It's cold with a lot of snow. It's snowing in winter. And I've just reached book 4 of the Brothers Karamazov, and I'm loving it so far. I'm definitely past the first confusing stage of reading Dostoevsky, where everything is a bit confusing, so that's good, and I'm starting to get into it. But I think I need to make an overview over who's who and who is what in the book, and there's a lot of characters and introductions and introduction to each character's philosophy and morals and ethics, which is very interesting, but it's a bit, I don't want to say info dumpy, but it's definitely world building, even though it's a bit slow, but it's very in the style of Dostoevsky as I know him from Crime and Punishment. So far so good, but I'm reaching my destination, so I'm gonna see you guys when I get back in. Okay guys, I just got back in and I thought I would explain to you the plot of this book, because I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna try to keep this vlog spoiler free, by the way, but you need a plot for this one. And in this book we are following 3 brothers in Russia, and one of them is a monk, one of them is an atheist, and one of them is a realist. They also have a father who is, I'm not going to say a word, but he's a very bad man. And there's something about money between him and his sons, where his son doesn't feel like he has gotten the money he's had a right to. And him and his father is also after the same woman. And him and his brother is after the same woman, but a different woman. So it's a big old family drama. And in the middle of all this, a murder happens. And one of the brothers is being accused of this murder, and the other 2 are trying, low-key to prove his innocence. Although this is where it gets interesting, because this is where all the philosophy and the monologues and theology comes in, where Dostoevsky is taking us on a journey through the human existence, trying to discover right and wrong in this situation. Did he murder his father? If he didn't, why? And was it the other brother who did it? You can find a reason for it. So that's the plot of this story, and I'm going to take you back to the vlog now. Okay guys, it is now a bit later again, and as you will have seen, we have been on quite a few adventures this past week, being, the last week before school starts again and people are heading back to work. And I wanted to share that with you in this vlog. But I'm here to talk more about the Brothers Karamazov. And to be completely honest, I had to take a little bit of a break today, because technically I was supposed to read more in this book. But I slept for 2 hours, tossing and turning all night, and I ended up instead reading a wonderful book called Murder Bot, which I highly recommend, and there will be a review up before you see this one. So highly recommend this book. But I needed a break from reading the Brothers Karamazov because, like I've said before, it's the hardest book I've ever read. It's the hardest book I've ever read. And it's challenging me in a lot of ways because I'm used to, in terms of reading, having main characters that I follow. I go into their head, I see the world through their eyes, and we are taken on a journey. But with this one and Dostoevsky, in this particular novel, we are being told the world. We are being told all the main characters' philosophy and reasons for living and worldviews on ethics and morality and what it means to be human in huge monologues. And I love theology and I love ethics. I find those topics very fascinating. I love to read a Dostoevsky book. I think he's a masterful writer. But to have all of this stuff thrown at you can be very hard. And sometimes I need a break in order to take in what I have been reading for the past couple of days in order to have the full impact of it and to be able to talk about it to you guys with some profound meaning. So it's been a rough few days reading this book. It doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it, because I definitely am, but I see that it's a book that's going to take some time to read, which is completely fine. It's a huge classic of tremendous impact on the world of literature and the world in general. So it's not meant to be, binge read in a week. That is not a point. The point is to read, I think, and to have this book impact your life. Live this book, live these characters to the best of your ability and have them with you for the rest of your life, because this is a book I will be referencing for the rest of my life. It's a book I will be thinking about for the rest of my life, and it will not be the last time I'm reading this book either. But I wanted to give an update and tell you how I'm getting on with it, and let you know that reading a book like this, for me at least, has its ups and downs, and that's okay. And I will chat to you guys again when I have more of an update. Hi guys, I thought I would give an update again because I'm a lot further ahead in the Brothers Karamazov than I was when I last updated you. I have now reached, I think, book 8, and we're following Dimitri's perspective because, like I said before, we are following 3 brothers through a big family drama that has a lot to do with money and some money going missing, father and son being after the same woman. It has a lot to do with religion and what your faith is, and this core debate between faith and doubt, which I guess we can all recognize ourselves in. I know I can, and this is a book that I'm so happy that I'm reading right now because, like I said before, I'm a theology student and I've had my fair share of doubts and ups and downs in terms of my faith myself, and it's so, I don't know, I'm learning so much from this book, and it just feels like one of those the right book at the right time type of scenarios. And I think as of now, one of my favorite characters is Ivan, who is the atheist, which is surprising, I guess, but I really love his thought patterns and how he resonates things and how he argues and debates things with Ayosha, who is his religious brother. And yesterday I did something I've never done before, which fan casting, because the thing about Dostoevsky is that he doesn't give a lot of description as to how these characters look. We get a lot of insight into their mental state and who they are at their core, but he doesn't give us any visuals in terms of, how to basically characteristics these people. So I actually did some fan casting. I'm going to try to put my poster up here, and I was quite pleased with that actually, and it really helps because there's so many characters in this book. There are a few main characters and there are so many side characters that I have trouble keeping everyone apart. So for me this was useful in order to get a visual image on who was who when reading this book. And I'm looking forward to reading the rest of this book and see how it ends, because we're coming to kind of the point where everyone's basis has been laid down. We know who thinks what and see their journey as to what's going to come next in the last couple of books here. And I have no idea where Dostoevsky is going to take this story. I do know that something's going to happen, but knowing Dostoevsky, it's going to be a roller coaster to the end. So I'm excited, but it's definitely, like I've said before, a heavy book, but it has so much packed into it. And I don't know, I'm just happy and thankful to have this type of literature available to read. Hello everyone, it's time to give some final thoughts on the book that is this masterpiece right here, The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And I'm speechless. I have been reading this book since January 1st, and I think it is now the 16th or the 18th. And I have been reading it on 2-point speed on audio, which works for me. It's my sweet spot when it comes to books. And this book has been a journey, to say the least, and I'm so thankful that I have had you with me and been documenting it. It's been a lot of fun. It's been ups and downs, definitely, and you know, not hating on it, but been frustrated, and I'm loving it and frustrated again. But I can definitely say that I have loved this journey. I have loved this book. I'm going to be referencing this book for the rest of my life. I'm going to be using it in papers and in church and anywhere really. This book is going to be used. And it's a book about ethics, morality, philosophy, religion, everything that goes into the human existence. And we are following these three brothers when something traumatic happens. And when you came to the last bit of this book, which is the trial of the murderer, I'm going to try not to spoil anything, because that is some of the most amazing writing I have ever witnessed in my reading career. How he managed to take a plot was actually, and that surprised me, because the main plot of this story is in fact quite simple. Like, you've seen it before, you've read it before, but everything he manages to put into these actions and thought patterns of these people in order to explain what it means to be human, what is human value, what is one life over another, and why should he go to prison because of this and this upbringing. And of course, a point of Dostoevsky is trying to make, I think, my personal opinion, is that are we evil, or has society made us evil? And he's definitely not the first philosopher who's pondered that one, and I don't know if he identified as a philosopher or if history has made him identify like that, but to me he's a philosopher, same as Tolstoy was a philosopher as well, in my opinion. And the writing, the characters, the plot, that was actually the most surprising thing for me, how well this book is plotted, because it's insane and you don't realize it right away. You can read 500 pages and don't know anything of what's going on, and then you get to page 650 and you're like, oh my god, that was the thing that happened in page 50. And it's just how well it's plotted, and I really like the ending. I did find the last bit of the trial a bit confusing, so I will have to look that up and do some more research on it. But the ending and the main message of the ending, which I will not spoil, was brilliantly done, and I cannot recommend this book enough. It's a hard read, it will tear you apart, it will pull on every string you have, and it will take you on a journey, not just through philosophy and ethics and history, but through yourself as well, who you are at your core as a person and what your core values are. You will learn throughout this book, and I don't think anyone will regret reading this book. So, is it the greatest novel ever written? Of the ones I've read, I'm actually willing to say yes, which is very scary because I've had another book as my favorite for 16 years now. So it feels a bit like I'm betraying such a good friend. But I can't say no, because to me, in regards to the books I've read, this is the greatest novel ever written, and I think it deserves the title. So I would highly recommend, and if you watch till the end of this vlog, please do leave any kind of book emoji and give a comment. You know, do you want to read this book? Are you going to start with Crime and Punishment or read Tolstoy or Dostoevsky? Please do let me know, and please also don't forget to like and subscribe, because I will be putting out more of these specific themed reading vlogs in 2023. So thank you for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!